Am I the a-hole for throwing my ex's words in his affair partner wife's face after she spent the last 5 years taunting me? I, 33 female, found out my ex-husband, 35 male, and the father of my 2 kids, 11 and 9, was cheating on me with Dana, 30 female, who he worked with. Once I kicked my ex out, he did everything to try and win me back. He even shared the fact Dana was sterile and was just some safe fun because he knew he couldn't get her pregnant. He said he would never actually want something, not someone, like that and that he loved me and our kids. I was having none of it. I didn't pity Dana either because she knew about me. We had met. She knew about the kids too. So to me, she was a home wrecker, and I wasn't going to warn her about my ex's feelings toward her. My ex continued trying to win me back throughout our divorce. The night before, he sent more texts begging me to call it all off and let us be a family again. And he said more degrading things about Dana. But I didn't listen to him. I was done. Even if he wasn't living with Dana, which he was, I wasn't going to believe he'd change. From the day my ex moved in with Dana, she was smug. She called me all dried up, said my pee clearly wasn't tight enough anymore for my ex, and that he clearly felt repulsed by whatever stretch marks the kids left behind. I ignored her. She got herself kicked out of the kids' school a few times for using that language in front of others. Twice, it was in front of one of the teachers during PT conferences. 5 years, I have ignored it and tried to be the bigger person. But recently, she was extra nasty about me and the fact I've been single since the divorce. She tried to say it was clear no man wanted me, not even the father of my children, and how he thought so little of me. She said he only says nothing because of the kids, but she knows. She knows that's why he went to her. So in response, I screenshotted several of the texts my ex sent me where he degraded her, and I told her she should see what he thinks of her. She told me I was sick and twisted and asked how dare I dig into her infertility. Then it was, why would I not tell her if any of this were true? I told her I owed her nothing after she knowingly slept with a man I was married to and contributed to the breakup of my children's family. I told her I found her as disgusting and repulsive as him, but I had done my best to ignore her all these years while she degraded me. Then I told her to look inside her house for all that nasty crap and reminded her to check the dates on the messages. She texted me several times in the aftermath. I muted her. Can't block while they're together because she could be with my kids in an emergency, and the court order states we must keep this access open. So now the plan is to unmute whenever the kids are over there, and mute the second they come home to me. But am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Most certainly got what she was repeatedly asking for. You just gave her the truth. She gets to live with it and deal with it. I'm sure she's devastated now that the cheater turned out to be a disgusting person, and she's stuck married to him and will probably stay for at least a while because she doesn't want me to win, even though he's no prize. But hey, she's always known how she feels, so that's great. If she keeps it up, just remind her that his mistress position is open now that she's the wife. That ought to shut her up for a little while. Absolutely not the a-hole. If she wants to fight dirty, she'd be foolish not to expect some of it in return. She's pretending she doesn't believe you, but at the very least, you've planted the seed of doubt. Deep down, she knows that your ex would go running back to you if you gave him half a chance. Wouldn't hurt to remind her of that next time she gets nasty, and then remind her that she's welcome to your sloppy seconds. That's all she's good for anyway. She believes them even if she doesn't want to, and she knows I know that. How could she not, when nobody else would know to tell me the stuff he did? Medical info about her too. But whether she acts on it or not is up to her. I wonder if she'll stay if the next mistress is fertile and can give him more babies. Just out of curiosity, what did your ex say about you sending the screenshots? He said nothing to me. I don't know about what he said to her. Next story. Am I the a-hole for snapping at my wife because she keeps wishing our kids had my features? I am a 30-year-old Belgian Flemish guy, and my wife is 28 and Chinese. We already have 2 sons. One is 5 and the other is 1, and she is pregnant again with our 3rd boy. For context, I am blonde with blue eyes, and my wife has black hair and brown eyes. She is also quite tall for a woman, about 5 feet 8 or 173 centimeters. and very pale, even lighter than me. Our oldest ended up with brown hair and green eyes, and our second surprised us by coming out blonde and blue-eyed. Since the day he was born, she keeps saying how lucky he is to have blue eyes and blonde hair. At first, I thought it was just her way of complimenting him, but it has not really stopped. Now that she is pregnant again, she keeps saying things like, "Wouldn't it be great if this one also had blonde hair and blue eyes?" It started to rub me the wrong way, so one day I told her I actually hope this kid has dark hair and brown eyes because it would be cool if he looked like her for once. She did not take it well and said I was overreacting. She said I twisted her words and that she does not favor one look over another. According to her, I should not have thrown that at her. But from my side, I don't think I said anything wrong. Sure, I admit I said it on purpose to give her a taste of her own medicine, but it's also true that both our sons don't really show strong Chinese features, and I honestly think it would be nice if our third son looked more like her. That said, I'll love him either way. So, am I the a-hole? Edit. Just to be clear, do not worry about my eldest. I always tell him how beautiful he is, and I mean it every time. I love reminding him how amazing his brown hair and green eyes are. He is a gorgeous kid, and I make sure he knows it. Not the a-hole. My mom spent my childhood saying she wished I had got my dad's blue eyes and black curly hair instead of her brown eyes and brown dead straight hair. She unintentionally made me feel ugly for years, which confused me because I thought my mom was beautiful. Those insecurities 100% get passed down when they are vocalized, especially when it's frequent. I should add, my mother was one of the most amazing women I've ever known. She just thought she had let me down with her genetics because of how little she saw in herself. It made me sad when I realized it didn't hurt my relationship with her, only my relationship with myself. My daughter hates that she looks like her father and not me. I've tried telling her how beautiful she is, with dark features, how people try to have a tan like her and end up damaging their skin over it. But her brothers look like me and she is very jealous of that. This can't be the first time in your entire marriage and relationship that she's displayed her preference for blonde hair and blue eyes. She married you, didn't she? It's pretty common in Chinese culture to fetishize Western features. Of course you're not the a-hole, but be prepared for her to show favoritism to your children who don't resemble her. You know, I hear all the time about Western people fetishizing Asian features, and I live in the US where things like fawning over Japanese and Korean people are pretty common, so it's really wild for me to hear the adverse side of it. Is this exclusively a Chinese thing, or do other Asian cultures also have a similar phenomenon? I'm Chinese in an Asian country, and it's still common for people to have Eurocentric beauty standards, deep-set eyes, sharp nose, fair skin, for completely Asian babies, which makes no sense. I had relatives who told me to pinch my daughter's nose bridge so it wouldn't be so flat in front of her. I've also heard those comments as a young girl and it's annoying. My sister used to be teased for having monolids when her two other sisters didn't. She grew up and did double eyelid surgery. Maybe that preference has been internalized from years of Eurocentric beauty standards in our culture. Or maybe she just really thinks you're the better looking of you two. Either way, I believe you both love your kids equally, but it can be very damaging saying such things out loud, especially in front of 3 kids who look different from each other. She may not see it yet, but you need to have a constructive, not passive-aggressive conversation with her. Many years ahead, and you never know which is the one sentence that sticks with your dark-haired kid for life. Next story. Am I the a-hole for removing my ex-wife from my life and not understanding why she still has our old photos up? 3 years ago, I, 43 male, left my now ex-wife, 39 female, after discovering she had been cheating on me. We had been married for 15 years, and I thought we were building a stable life together. Finding out about the affair completely shattered me. It wasn't just about the betrayal. It made me question our entire relationship. I kept wondering if all those years, all those moments, were nothing more than a lie. When I decided to move forward with the divorce, I also made the choice to completely cut her out of my personal life. I removed her from all of my social media accounts and went through my phone and computer to delete every picture of us together. At the time, it was painful, but it felt necessary. For me, wiping the slate clean was the only way I could start to heal. I didn't want constant reminders of someone who had hurt me so deeply, and I didn't want to keep seeing her face tied to memories that no longer felt real. Yesterday, my kids were scrolling through their mom's Facebook page while we were together. They pointed out that she still has a ton of pictures of us posted. Some of them were family photos of me with the kids, but plenty of them were of me and her as a couple, vacations, holidays, and everyday moments from when we were together. Seeing those old pictures caught me completely off guard. It threw me for a loop because I just don't understand why she would keep those photos up. She was clearly so unhappy in our marriage that she ended up cheating. So why hold on to the images of a relationship she destroyed? From my perspective, leaving those pictures up feels like she's clinging to something that no longer exists. I'll admit, it bothers me more than I expected. I'm not angry exactly, but unsettled. I worked hard to cut ties, remove reminders, and give myself space. Meanwhile, she seems fine with keeping all of it public. Part of me wonders if I'm overthinking this or if I'm justified in feeling strange about it. So, am I the jerk for feeling uncomfortable and for completely erasing her from my life while she continues to keep our old photos on display? Now for the top comments before the mini update. Not everyone feels the need to erase all evidence of a relationship from social media after a breakup. Those 15+ years of life and milestones and memories don't cease to exist just because it ended badly. If you found it cathartic or helpful to delete any trace of your marriage from social media, great. Just because she doesn't feel the same urge to purge doesn't mean she's still hung up on it. Or you just don't care. I still have pictures up from years ago. I'm way too lazy to go through them all. They don't bother me at all. I'm in this camp. I divorced my ex-wife 12 years ago, and I didn't delete any social media pictures of our life together. The only pictures that I even removed from my camera roll on my phone were anything that could be deemed NSFW. I don't scroll back and look at them. I just don't care that they exist, and couldn't possibly muster up the energy to go through and delete them all. No a-holes here. It could be as simple as she can't be bothered to go back through her old Facebook photos. I've got stuff in there from almost 20 years ago, and I haven't looked at them in probably 10 years. Mini update. All these pictures were originally removed by her in response to my actions. No, I did not go looking into her Facebook page. My kids were randomly going through photos, and I asked where they were seeing these at, and they said their mother's Facebook page. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to make amends after my ex-best friend reached out to me? The other night I got an Insta message confused. I thought it might have been a mistake. Turns out it was my ex-best friend from high school, someone I hadn't seen or spoken to in years. She was hoping to meet up and talk about catching up. Hannah, we went to kindergarten together and were friends on and off throughout our school years. Our moms were friends, which made it easier. I thought she was my person. At least until the summer before senior year, and my mom got sick. She got real sick and passed away from it pretty quickly. Entering senior year, I was in a very dark place. Hannah was my rock, her and my other friends at the time. I was starting to feel better about myself, and when prom rolled around, I asked if we could go as friends. It felt right, and things were really starting to feel okay again. Until she ditched me at prom. I guess her and a couple of our other friends had agreed to a slumber party without me. I felt so embarrassed. No goodbye. No sorry we left you at the prom by yourself. It was even worse when I had to call my older sister to give me a ride home. I mean, I can still see her disappointment. Even worse, the principal walked me to the car because I had asked him to check if my friends had left prom. When I asked Hannah for an explanation at school, all she could say was she was tired. You've become toxic with your sadness. Every day you cry and whine about missing her. I loved your mom too, but you make it so hard to be around you. Honestly, I couldn't breathe after that. How does a kid respond to that? I ended high school with no friends, and it wasn't made easier that she never told her mom. Graduation day, Hannah's mom gave me flowers and thanked me for being her daughter's friend. I told her the truth about prom and walked away before I began to cry. I left those things behind me, and now she has the audacity almost 10 years later to try to patch things up? I can't. At least I don't think I can. We spent so much of my childhood being together that I just don't know. She looks like she's done well for herself, so maybe she's changed? But I was really hurt and I don't think I recovered from it. Not the a-hole. Doesn't sound like the message was an apology. Unless the message was a complete apology, showing self-reflection, and with no obligation on you to give her closure, don't open the door to your heart. She'll hurt you again. It was a short hello, a gift from friends, of Joey saying, "How you doing? And would I be up to meet up for lunch to talk?" You can see now why this surprised me out of nowhere. 50% chance it's an MLM thing. Don't bother. She's not apologetic. Not the a-hole. She abandoned you when you needed her most and said cruel stuff that stuck with you for years. You don't owe her closure or a reunion. If reconnecting hurts more than it helps, you have every right to keep that door closed. Think the only reason I would ever want to talk to her again is to see if her mom is okay. Hannah's mom had a stroke roughly a year ago and hasn't gotten much better, or so I'd heard. Not the a-hole. She's got a close family member who's sick or passed away and wants to unload it all on you because you'd understand and you owe her nothing. She abandoned you when you needed her most. Block that messenger and keep moving forward. There's no justification she can make for leaving you friendless after you lost your mom. You're just going to hear "we were kids, we didn't know any better" type excuses, while she unloads all her grief on you. She can go get a therapist. Yep, she wants someone to be her therapist while she deals with her own mom's health issues because OP would understand what she's going through. There's also a slight chance that she's reaching out because her friends have abandoned her just like she did to OP, because they too think that someone struggling and grieving gives off toxic energy that they don't want to be around. As far as I know, our original friend group broke up after high school because they all felt conflicted regarding everything that happened our senior year. I had some friends that agreed that my grief was valid. However, majority of them agreed with her.